Okay, so as you're lying on your bed, we're just going to start today by tuning in to your breathing without trying to change it in any way, noticing what's happening today with the breath, watching the in and the outflow. And allow the breath to root, to anchor your mind. And all I mean by that is as the breath moves in and out, you may occasionally find your mind wander, and all you're going to do is bring it back to watching the flow of the breath. And so as we watch that flow, let's start with a little bit of concentration on the breath, breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in. I know I'm breathing in, and breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. As you continue exploring the breath, watching it flow, just noticing if the breath is moving easily today or if there's any strain or challenge to it. And don't try to change it, just watch it. And notice the shifts that start to happen just by witnessing. They may be small, subtle changes, but just watching without any need for anything to happen. You're just being the witness. And as you continue to watch the breath, kind of soften that inward gaze. So this isn't a literal gaze with the eyes, but just a watching of yourself, and soften around that. Kind of broaden your perspective, witnessing the breath, but taking it in from maybe a step back from where you are. One way of doing that might be to watch the breath as you're aware of the support beneath you. Or watching the breath as you're aware of your safe, secure space of your room. And as you bring in that dual attention of breath and something of greater perspective. Notice what starts to happen. Continuing to breathe and softening. And if your eyes are not already closed, closing them now. Feeling the forehead smooth and the outer corners of the eyes widen. Continuing to watch the breath. And then very gently, with the eyes closed, turning the inner gaze towards the area between the eyebrows and about 1/2 inch inward from that surface space. And as you turn your gaze towards that inner space between the eyebrows, notice once again what's happening in the body, what's happening in the mind as you create this subtle shift. And if you're uncertain, you may just want to play with this a little bit. So kind of imagining turning the gaze outward across the room again, even though the eyes are closed. Imagine that. Noticing the breath, noticing body sensation. And then shifting that awareness once again towards that inner point, that inner drishti of what the yogis call the third eye. And again, notice what happens in breath, in body, in awareness. And so now we're going to start playing with deepening the breath, taking big, deep diaphragmatic breaths, feeling the belly expand, filling the lungs completely. And then as you exhale, we're actually going to exhale slightly different than we've learned before, exhaling also from the bottom up. Inhale, belly expanding, filling from the bottom up. And exhaling, feeling the belly draw in as you empty from the bottom up. And so the practice right now is continuing to watch the breath as we start to bring some depth to it. Expanding, filling a little more with each breath. And so now as you continue to breathe deeply, inner focus on that third eye. We're now going to bring the hands to rest comfortably on the face. Pointer finger just above the eyebrows. Next finger along the bridge of the nose. And then eventually, as the fingers rest, we then seal the ears with the thumbs. And so you'll be taking a big breath in. And then as you exhale, humming with that slight NG sound with the tip of the tongue touching just behind the teeth. And so we'll begin. Big inhale. And each time you exhale completely, you're going to take another big breath in and just do it again. Play with your intonation, find your sweet spot, notice the inner vibration. finish one more round. And when you've completed the exhale, returning to your normal breath, taking a few moments to just observe the body, even scanning it, starting at the head and working the way down to the feet. Notice any shifts in sensation, in awareness, in energy. Once again, as you continue to observe the breath, taking that perspective, that bigger perspective that's rooted in an awareness of your sense of safety within a space, feeling safe enough within a space. As you watch the warmth of the breath on the exhale and the coolness of the breath on the inhale. In this moment, allowing the hands to rest on your abdomen as you watch the natural rise and fall of the belly with the breath. Noticing a sense of feeling okay enough. Safe enough. Well enough. Take one more breath in and allow it to fall out of the mouth.